Hey, welcome to the LA School of Comedy. Yeah. As you all notice, I just had an argument with the Assistant Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare. All right, she's now pitching for a job with Kennedy on his anti-vaccination scam. All right, because when you think about it, all right, I am 70 years old. No for the applause. I have what's known as an ancient brain. Anyhow, I got my vaccine in school. They lined us up, right? And they gave us the polio vaccine. And we didn't get polio. But I know people who didn't get the vaccine in what would that would have been? That would have been about 1960, right before they shot Kennedy. All right, the year before, probably. And the next years, they used to line us up and they gave us the measles and the mumps and everything else. I'll tell you which vaccine are bullshit. The measles vaccine. You still get measles. The mump vaccine. You still get the mumps. Chicken pox. It's fucking herpes. Nobody told us when we were kids that when we had chicken pox, ooh, you have herpes. So a kid went like this, then think, he's going like this. There you go. That's how genital herpes started. It came from chicken pox. There are over 1,300, 1,400 variations of herpes. All right? And it's very prevalent in Europe. Don't screw with a Dane. You know you're going to get sick. Think about it. They're dirty, these Europeans. Anyhow, so this argument's been going on for years and years and years. And it all comes down to this. How are 1 in 12 kids in California autistic? The truth is, they're assholes born of asshole parents. These are lazy parents who want an excuse for the fact that they didn't administer early ass whoopings. Remember, my wife always who got her fair share, always has a statement. Nothing cures you better than an ass whooping. Black women know how to do it. You don't hear black women saying my kid's autistic. You say he's an asshole. All right? He's misbehaved. Wonk. All right? 1 in 12, this story about Bill Gates lining up kids in Africa with German shepherds and guns to give them the polio, to give them the vaccine. Come on. All right? I don't trust Bill and Melinda Gates any more than you do. Any more than he's an oligarch, all right? But what's worse is he thinks he's smart. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, right? Kicked the shit out of Steve Jobs until Steve Jobs realized he was a piece of shit. None of you know about that fight. You only see it as Noah Wyle versus some other guy in the TV show. And the guys with gray hair saw that movie. All right. Right? There you go. Anyhow, we're going to have a great lineup tonight. We got a lot of people coming in, all right? I will learn everybody's names, all right? I'm just going to say one thing. Learn not to drop my mic, all right? This has cost more money than any other piece of equipment in this place. Comics are very funny about mics. They think they're lariats, They like to make noises with them. Use your mouth. Anyhow, and I don't mean... Just calm it. Be nice with it. Also, be mindful of the other comics. This is a great place. All right? Keep the heckling to positive comments. The only person who can make negative heckling comments are me and Aaron, and they're in the corner. That's our job. All right? And the third thing is have a good time. All right. So, now that Shelley is left and taking her crazy ideas with her, all right? Sorry, can't help it. And it's been too long since I see her. She hangs out with this chiropractor who's ripped me off more than once, who has the worst evil in the world of chiropractors. Not that, other than the fact that they're really just massage therapists jumped up somewhere, the worst thing is when they start pushing their own brand of herbs and spices on you. I mean, they give you, I have never gotten so sick than taking organic herbs. All right? It's the worst thing. And they give you all kinds of stories and this and this and this. It's voodoo. Anyhow, we have a very, very funny person. I won't say what, there, or anything because I've given up on pronouns. Coming to the stage. Hey, look. If you're going to play the pronoun game, and I'll tell a little story. Here I am. My daughter's at NYU. And since she's the only kid that's living in a house, because we live right by NYU, during COVID, she was the only one who could entertain. She was popular. So there I come marching into my house. I just had a couple of sakis, and I don't mean glasses. I went and had some sushi, get away from them. And some kid gets up and goes, "Hi, my name is Kai." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "I'm Other." I said, "Oh, what's that?" "This isn't a safe place anymore." You know what? Talking about safe places, the motherfucker robbed me. He took my wife's jewelry. All right, hey, you go talk about safe places. Anyhow, coming to the stage, Bork.
Whoa. You didn't look that short.
I am that short.
Oh, my goodness. There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. All right, so I'm Bork. I do wear a hockey jersey. I've been doing this for 3 years. I just got a deal with the NHL after wearing jerseys every time I'm on stage. And I want to let you know that I'm making $3,500 a year just wearing hockey jerseys to every open mic, every show that I do. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, my wife was very impressed because I'm a really good liar. It's $2,500. It's nothing. I don't have an endorsement with the NHL. All right, that being said, the truth is known. Yes, yes, yes. I have 2 children. I love my kids. My kids are fantastic. You should see these 2 play together. Unreal. They never fight, and they always share their toys. My wife and I are so proud of them. And to think, they're only in their 40s. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm writing a book. This will work in this room. It's loosely based on Richard Gere's life story. It's called Gerbils versus Humanity: The Attack from Within. When I'm not writing my book, you can find me on the golf course. And this year, on May 7th, I got my very first hole-in-one. Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. I lined that puppy up. I took 3 practice swings, and then I hit the ball. It went right through that windmill and into the hole. Yeah. And when I'm, you know what? When I'm not writing my book and I'm not golfing, I'm weed whacking. I love weed whacking. It's so relaxing. By weed whacking, I mean smoking pot and masturbating. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, was on an airplane going to Albuquerque. And I looked at the exit sign. And the exit sign said, exit. And it had an arrow pointing to the left. And then it said, salida. And it had an arrow pointing to the right. Immediately I thought, has ICE taken over the plane? Are we going to crash on the border? Thank you for those who understand Spanish. Salida is exit. Exit, exit. All right, so I love my wife. Yeah. Yes. We have been married for 49 years. Wow. Yes. It's fantastic. My wife and I love doing it. Yes. Whenever we can remember what it is. When we do it, it's like the Olympics. She lights my torch. We have the events. I love the events. And then sadly, the torch goes out. And in 4 years, we do it all over again. In a different country. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, she is the best. She's absolutely the best. I don't know why, but she's the best. 49 years together. And in those 49 years, I have learned nothing. Just ask her. No, I have actually learned that compromise is key to a marriage. My wife loves long walks on the beach, romantic comedies, and being with family. So we watch a lot of sports, especially hockey. All right, so thank you. A hockey fan in the room. I appreciate that. Who's your team? The Sharks. Fuck you. Kings fan. Kings fan. I know I'm not wearing Kings fan. Anybody know whose shirt I'm wearing tonight? Who? Claude Giroux, but what team? Ottawa Senators. That's the hockey fan in the room. Nobody else would have known that. Ottawa Senators, a Canadian team, which means they haven't won the Stanley Cup for the last 30 years. Yeah. Well, U.S. Canada claims that hockey is their team, but the U.S., that's whose team, that's who wins the Stanley Cups. So, at any rate, for those of you who aren't hockey fans, okay. I love my grandkids. Yeah, my grandkids are so much fun. My grandkid, I had a little one, the 5-year-old. I have 5 of them, by the way. I had the little one over to the park, and he yelled out the N-word. Yeah, I mean, he yelled it. Yeah, I pulled him aside by the collar and told him it's not polite to yell narcissist. Yeah, and wow, you try them, and sometimes they're winners and sometimes they're losers, right? That one was in the middle. All right, so it's a big red light here. I got the red light. You know what that means, right?
2 minutes.
Oh, is that a 2-minute warning?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 2-minute warning. We're starting football. I'm used to a 1-minute warning, and wow, 2 minutes. Okay, so I've got 25 minutes to finish up. And I do, I watch a heck of a lot of TV. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife watches more TV than I do. And I know this because whenever I come home from doing comedy, she's watching TV. And whenever I'm home, we are watching TV. Except when we're doing it. Every 4 years. Thank you. A little call back there. And I am going to tell you a little bit about my doctor. I went to the doctor. My wife thought I had dementia. It was one of those neuro doctors, and that neuro doctor said, you know what, Bork? You are perfectly healthy. I don't know why your wife thinks that you have dementia. In fact, I've only got one more question for you. When was the last time you had a blowjob? I told him June 17th, 1976. He looked at me and he said, Bork, don't worry, I got you covered. It's just an additional $10 copay. When I retired 4 years ago, I knew I could retire. But my wife retired 2 months ago. And I had to run the numbers. I ran the numbers. I had to get a part-time job. Got a part-time job. Guys, I start Monday. I was notified yesterday, and I've been practicing. I've been practicing my speech. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Walmart. And lastly, I hate when comics say that. And lastly, I said it again, didn't I? And lastly, my wife went for. I went to get one of those, her rectum checked. And when she came out with the doctor, and I asked the doctor, when can we do butt stuff? And and my wife started shaking her head, and she said, we don't do that. And I said, I know. That's why I asked the doctor. And the doctor said, don't worry, Bork. For an additional $10 copay, I got you covered. All right, there's my callback of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Bork, and you have been borked.
Here we go. That whole story about Richard Gere, Jesus Christ. That whole story about Richard Gere and the gerbil. I've never met a hornier guy in my life until I met Michael Bloomberg. So here I am in a, oh my God, my chair, I can't get my tush on it. Here I am in a Japanese restaurant with Sundar in the village. And all of a sudden I see Richard Gere and some woman. And he's looking at Sundar. I'm thinking to myself, you pervert. Then Michael Bloomberg did the same thing. Here we are in the Palm. He's with Arnold Schwarzenegger and that evil wife of his. Remember that evil Kennedy wife he had? And all of a sudden, what was she, a Shriver? They're not real Kennedy. Maria, not real Kennedys. Anyhow, but they're no good. He comes in, walks over to my table, says to Sundar, what are you doing with this guy? You can do better than this. I'm looking at him and said, I'm not voting for you. So, anyhow, I noticed Bork had a couple of other funny things to say. We welcome him here to the stage. We have lots of funny people here. I had something else I was thinking of. Oh, yeah, his grandson yelling out narcissist. Where'd you run into Adam Schiff? So I'm reading the paper today, and all of a sudden, we see in the paper that Adam Schiff is being indicted probably on mortgage fraud. Let me tell you, as an attorney in the real estate field, he committed mortgage fraud. Not only that, he committed election fraud. There is no way you have two primary residences. You're not allowed to do that. I bet the motherfucker was deducting his real property taxes twice. Now they're going to get him on tax evasion because you don't do that when you're a senator. So maybe we're going to have a special election and we could get somebody in there who doesn't lie all the time. And that ain't Karen Bass. Oh, yeah. So that'll lead me to my last dig of the week against California's system of government. Did you know that California passed a law that will allow them to gerrymander or to take all of the Pacific Palisades for emergency low-income housing? Can you imagine anything crazier than projects in the Palisades? I mean, the first thing I would do if I was one of the low-income people getting a project in the Palisades is rent it out for the view. You think about it. What are you talking about? So they're intentionally not issuing building permits. All right? And then, of course, the other person on mortgage fraud is Miss Letitia James. This is all today, So here I am doing a closing the other day with Arthur Engeron's brother and his niece, Stacy. I hope you're not listening, Stacy. And the rumor is they're not too fond of him either, all right? He does have one thing that I appreciate that he has in common with Bork. He probably masturbates to television. He is a pothead. All right, on that note, we have a very special guest, and look what I have to do at this age. Everything works except my knee and my eyes. The rest of it works pretty well. Maddie O-C. What's the O-C, Maddie? What is that? Oh, you could have written that down. I can pronounce Odashi.
It's how I always write it down.
O-E?
Yeah, the point is to confuse
You scared me because I thought this was some sort of gender tag.
Oh, God. No, I mean, I'm supportive. I'm supportive.
That's not the point. It's kind of like, oh, I'm Maddie. Hi, I'm an OE. All right, come on, Maddie. Show us what you got.
Hey guys, it's wonderful to be back here. I haven't been here in a minute, but I want to say before I start, this place always holds a special place in my heart. Billy, Aaron, Mark, lovely to meet you, and all these other guys. And Sam, miss you. Hope you're doing well. And Cinda, I hope you are doing well as well. Anyways, but you said you're just not watching. Anyways, my name is Maddie Odashi. How we all doing? Oh, I love it. See, I've heard a lot of interesting things here tonight. And yes, specifically in this room. And it brought to mind something. Conservatives are afraid of gay marriage. They're also afraid of gays adopting children. See, here's my thing. They're concerned for that because they're afraid that the kids are going to end up just like their parents, or their minds will be corrupted. And for one, I don't get that. My parents like men, I like women. And as for the boyish clothes, that's a style choice. It also is the only thing that fits me at Walmart. The only thing. And I will say, growing up, my dad really did expect me to be a petite little lady. And guys, clearly, I'm on a first mate basis with the staff of my local McDonald's. All right? Petite and little are not best words to describe, right? So, what I'm saying is, when I go through the drive-thru, they have that little camera. And, you know, I have my regulars that I go to. They don't even wait. And they'll mess with me. They'll just be like, "Can I get a Big Mac for the Big Mac?" You know what sucks? I slept with that guy before. Oh, my goodness. I just can't. As an overeater, there's one thing, mainly, I cannot stand. Stairs. I hate when you make yourself laugh. Sorry. Anyways. True mark of a comedian. Jesus. One thing I hate is stairs, right? Obviously. And I used to love elevators. And elevators were a big girl safe haven since 1875. 1875. I don't know if that's the exact year, to be quite honest. I'm too lazy to literally go on Google. But my point is, it was amazing. It helped me through everything. It helped me gain the weight I absolutely do not need. The other day, I just got done with a friend and an all-you-can-eat buffet. And you know you're a big back when you see a buffet as a challenge. And let's be honest, I'm not a quitter. I was so full. And let's be honest, I already hate going on elevators when there's already someone in there because, yes, I'm not that big, but I'm big to a point where I scare people. As in, people are already worried about the elevators crashing down, as they should be, right? But they see me coming and I'm like, "Hey, hold the door. Hold it, please." No. There actually was this guy. There was a guy. And I was like, "Hey, man, hold the door." He's like, "Oh, nah." I felt skinny that day. I only ate 5 times. 5 times. How does it make you feel, Billy? How would it make you feel? So upset. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, I'm in my lobby. I'm waiting for an elevator. Here's the thing. There were people in front of me, and of course I wanted to go on different elevators, but my stomach's starting to feel a little funky, right? So I gotta just go, just get up. These people come in, everyone presses higher floors. I'm the one that has to get off first. And scooching past people on an elevator, oh my God, especially when you're big, you gotta hold your belly. You got to hold your belly and move past people. Do you know how intimate that can be? Genuinely, it's just like you're trying not to touch people, and then all of a sudden you feel, oh, it's like, oh, hi, it's me. He's like, no, that's delusion. That's pure delusion. I noticed while I got off the elevator, you know how sometimes it just goes, when someone gets off? Not me. It didn't just bounce. When I got off, it said, badunk. The whole elevator shook, And we just were packed like we were sardines, okay? Just completely packed, and just imagine the embarrassment. Imagine what you would have felt to be in my shoes. So I did the only logical thing I could think of. When I got off, I screamed and yelled, "Earthquake!" What I failed to mention was that there was a blind guy on the elevator. I scared him so bad that all you heard was, "Ooh!" The silence was terrible, but I swear it sounded like Helen Keller had an orgasm. That's terrible to say, don't get me wrong. That's terrible, but it's funny. Oh my goodness. So as I said, I was raised by two dads. Clap it up for gay marriage, please. Clap it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, no clap? Interesting. Homophobic. No, it's okay. You don't have to say anything. I know. So like I said, I was raised by two gay men. And I'm telling you, growing up, you always had to explain to people why your mother wasn't at meetings, school meetings, anywhere. Or, "Hey, Maddie, how's your mom doing?" I don't know. Genuinely don't know. And I'm going to tell you this. I never got bullied. One, because of my size. And two, people always tried to go for yo mama jokes. And yo mama jokes have been around forever. And this generation is soft because I was talking to my baby cousin and I told him a yo mama joke. He's not only cried, he started harming himself again. Calm down. Not like, harming yourself like cutting a piece of cake. And he's taking after me, I just can't believe it. Something so simple as yo mama jokes. You were to be offended now? That's what I'm saying. But growing up, kids would always come at me. Your mama's so stupid. Your mama's so fat. Your mama's so ugly. To look at them, and I was just like, you know my mom? You know my mom. Can you tell her I said hi? Can you tell me what she looks like? The sheer embarrassment on these kids' faces. Beautiful. Beautiful. I actually got sick of people asking me that question. The question of, who's your mom? Where's your mom? Or just, who is your mom? I got to a point where I started to cry, but then I realized I needed to grow some balls. Let's be quite frank, that's not hard. I had to have something in me to just say, you know what? I know my mom, and her name is Fred. And Pops, I know you're watching, so that one was for you. I love you. It's always fun up here, man. It's always fun. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's actually another one to talk about. Dating as a big girl isn't always fun. Okay, so who has significant others that snore? Yes, you do? Oh my goodness. See, I have sleep apnea. So I don't just do sleepovers because I'm telling you, it is like waking up to Bane from Batman. Okay, you roll over and you just see, hello, yes. I can imagine you are confused, but did you come? No, I'm just kidding. And I'm telling you, when I was having sex with this guy, I tried it once. I had sex with him, and you know what? It wasn't bad. I have a new respect for men. The amount of just hip work that goes in, everything was sore. Everything was sore, And especially when I tried it with a woman, oh my God, like having a strap on, this is not appropriate. But thank God there are no minors in the crowd today. Anyways, but just the amount of work you men have to do, God bless your hearts. Clap it up. Clap it up. So I'm running out of time, but I want to end on a positive note. When my parents heard I was doing stand-up, they had two very different reactions. My pops, the brown one, he says, "Sweetheart, I believe in you. Nothing can stop you. I will be by your side through thick and thin." Amazing. I went to my other dad and I said, "Dad, I'm going to start something. I am going to go on a journey that will take me as far as I can dream." And he looked at me in sheer excitement and he said, "Sweetheart, You're starting Ozempic? Oh. Absolutely. My name is Maddie Odashi. Thank you so much.
Should I tell Ozempic stories?
Yes.
So, Maddie, before you leave,
Yes.
what did you think of the Sydney Sweeney ad?
She's hot, but it was clearly for Nazis.
Really?
I think she is a very attractive woman.
Really? For Nazis? You mean you weren't turned on? What type of lesbian are you not to be turned on by Sydney Sweeney?
I did not say I wasn't turned on. I simply said.
Well, if you're turned on, how could you be turned on by a Nazi?
So what you're saying is I need to masturbate to Hitler's thought tonight.
No, Hitler is an ugly man with one left ball. Don't you remember the song? Hitler has only one left ball, gobbles, has none at all. Now, we have no fun in this country anymore. Everything's racist. So my daughter tells me that the Sydney Sweeney ad is racist. To me, it was just a return of mammary glands. To all you men in this audience, especially Hunter White here. Well, you haven't seen him in a while. Anyway, they are just a return of mammary glands, right? This poor man Borkin here, he only gets it every 4 years. He liked the Sydney Sweeney ad. He said to his wife, look, honey, look at that ad. And she said, shut your mouth. Your wife got you too. They all get mad at it. So talking about your two fathers, I used to have a trade-off in my house. As I was, coercing, not coercing, as I was brainwashing my children to watch Star Wars, and now they're Star Wars fanatics, all right? Very good Star Wars fanatics and super fans. I had to watch Glee. All right, so, and as you know, my eldest daughter's a cabaret singer. My younger daughter's an actress. My oldest daughter's Leah Michelle. Anyhow, so anybody remember the scene where Leah Michelle's two daddies come? And Dina Menzel shows up, all right, and they couldn't, and they both inseminated Dina Menzel, so they couldn't tell who was the father, all right. Gay men make good fathers, except when they're college professors. You see, you can't take away the vocation from the gayness; they're separate. All right, conservatives have right. So I was watching some kid when my daughter was in college, give her a hard time, and he wrote a 13-page apology letter, and I said typical from a kid whose father's a college professor. I mean, the amount of verbiage this guy used to say I fucked up was amazing because he had to justify everything he did, every word, every action. Okay, neither here nor there. But in terms of gay marriage, conservatives. How do you explain the gay married Secretary of the Treasury with 2 children? Conservatives aren't against gay marriage. Take my word for it. Nor are they against gay people adopting, all right? The only people against gay people adopting, by the way, are their parents. They don't know how to explain it away at the country club. Oh, this is little Sun Yi. Where'd you get her? My son bought her. All right, here we go. I mean, there was a time. And then there were the Russians. And then they stopped that. But believe me, there's an awful lot of Jewish Chinese girls in New York. Anyhow, it's amazing. They bring these kids in. They send them to yeshiva. We have another comic who is named Colin Astley.
Keep it going for Mark. I am against straight people adopting. I don't think they should do it. I think only gay people should adopt. That's my stance. And I won't justify it. All right. Maddie, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have closed the elevator on you. That wasn't cool. I shouldn't have. That was on me. I have trouble with having beautiful women in the elevator with me, so I get uncomfortable, so that's what I did. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's very nice to be here at the men's support group tonight. Hey, divorce is tough. I just got back from Peru. Went to Peru and Colombia. And it's a pain in the ass to go to Peru because you deal with elevation sickness to see all the cool sights. I went to this place called Rainbow Mountain. It was 17,000 feet elevation. I had a massive headache. I had to take to get to Rainbow Mountain, it's absolutely gorgeous. You should look it up. I had to take a 3-hour bus ride, barely any roads, just bum, 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 just left and right. I couldn't even sleep. And then I had to take a 1-hour ATV ride in the cold. And then finally, we had the choice to hike or take a motorcycle ride. I chose the motorcycle ride. I had a beanie on, and then I put the motorcycle helmet on. I'm holding on to this guy I've just met. I paid him $5 to ride me up this to the last bit of the mountain. We're going up these windy parts. My beanie is slowly sliding down, and I am blind. Completely blind, trusting this man. It is windy, all right? It is a windy road to get up, and I'm just holding on to this man. Slowly but surely, trusting him more. Feeling safe, really. A level of safety I'd never known before from a man, you know? But I can't, you know, and I'm feeling protected, but I don't speak very much Spanish, you know? So I didn't really know how to communicate that, so I just held tighter. All right. None of this is well thought out at this level. We're going off vibes. We're going off vibes tonight. We're not doing this written material bullshit, okay? That's for your grandpappy. Okay, I'll kill myself later. All right, fine. Okay, what do I want to say? Why is it that when I meet a guy and he says he's an open book, and he won't tell me how big his dick is? Said you're an open book, sir. What's your social security number? All right. Okay, I feel like I just ruined Mark's night. All right. That was dumb. Oh, God. I want to do, like, I like role playing in a bedroom. I want to do a role play where, teacher student, I'm the professor, they're the student, except like they're doing like the cutesy schoolgirl, and I'm very upset that they haven't finished their dissertation yet. Hey, and like, no, you your research is due in a week. You've done no studies, not one. I get very mad. Well, what's the pigtails? What are you doing with the fucking pigtails? You have, all right, get a fucking lab coat on. All right. All right. Can we take a moment just to make fun of my outfit? I'm trying to dress for the female gaze. If you guys know what the... Thank you. Love lesbians. Hey. We love you. Aw, thank you. Huh? That's my role play outfit. Yeah, this is my studious, you know. I might be painting later. Who knows? My doctor says I have too many macroplastics. I've just been eating whole-ass water bottles. Just whole-ass water bottles. My parents are, like, all worried about microplastics. I'm like, you drank from the hose as a kid. You're filled with lead. You're stuffed with lead. Why are you worried now? I always hate when my folks are like, they'll say stuff, you know, because you didn't worry about that with me, you know, when I was growing up. And they're like, you turned out fine. I hate that phrase, you turned out fine. That's the phrase. Fine is the word all of my exes used when they were pissed at me. When have you ever heard one of your exes go, I'm fine, and they meant it? They were all mad. I'm fine. I'm fine. What else? No, you told me that. Fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, fine is right up there with can't complain. You know, I hate when someone says can't complain, because that means you have something to complain about. That's what that is. But for some reason, you can't. Like you have a gun to your head. I could complain, but I can't. They'll get me. They're watching. The complaint police are watching. Again, we're just vibing tonight. We're just vibing. Oh God, that was stupid. Why'd I write that? Okay. Oh yeah, there were so many issues with flying and traveling, and you know, we had to wait for when I finally got back to LAX after all this travel. We had to wait an hour and a half for our bags to get off in the terminal. We all started clapping for the bags, which is crazy because we didn't clap for the flight landing. Isn't that wild? Like sometimes people clap at the end of a flight, which is, you know, I feel like there needs to be like some sort of organized because they're almost always like haphazard claps, just kind of sprinkled around. Like, it's not a uniform. Like, yeah, hey, we're safe. Like, we just expect it at this point to land safely after going 30,000 feet in the air. We really take that for granted, except for those few weirdos who clap. But I feel weird to clap. I don't know. I feel like, I did clap for the bags. I clapped like a fucking maniac for those bags, but that's because I finally got my bomb through. This is a dumb idea. I want to go on Shark Tank and like give bad products. And here's one of my bad product ideas. It's a doggy cone, but it's different shapes. Like, it's not just a cone. It's like pyramid, like it's square, triangle. No utility. Just want to see if I can get Shark Tank with that one. All right. That was dumb. Okay, that's not relatable to the crowd. Well, okay, I'll say it, but like sometimes I'll go on Instagram and like, because you can swipe to the next story if you're watching stories, and I'll like peer over to see who the next person is, because there's some people, even though I'm following them, I don't want to see their story. I don't want to be involved in their life. So I peer through real quick, because you can look halfway, like kind of half scroll, and they won't show that you watched. So it's mostly X's. I don't want to unfollow them, but I don't want to watch their story. All right. No, that's dumb. This might not be relatable, but I like going abroad because I get to see other people with Android phones. Anyone else? I'm like, look, they use WhatsApp. My people. No. Fucking iPhone motherfuckers. Okay. No. Nope, that's not funny. Nope, none of that's funny. Okay, last thing. This is a dumb idea. Okay, idea for a movie. It's really just about the title. It's a movie, Black Women Ninjas Go to Space. The title will be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Figures. All right, guys, thank you so much. You have a great night. You can find me at comedian Colin Hasley. Thank you.
You realize that he had an apple, the jokes may have been funnier. On that note, by the way, I've been in Peru. Interesting place, all right? In terms of altitude sickness, they have a time-honored cure to that. Mate de coco. Just chew on them leaves, man. You don't get any altitude sickness. But the one thing I remember about Peru is how discordant it is. You're talking about the guy, you didn't speak any Spanish. Neither did your driver. He speaks Quechua. Up in those mountains, they don't speak Spanish. They don't like Spanish people either. They still come after you with blow darts. All right. So the most interesting part, you talk about clapping when you're waiting for your luggage. Here I am in Peru, and we're going to the jungle. So we fly from Cusco all the way up in the mountains on the way after we went to Machu Picchu, where I did it the civilized way with the train. Anyhow, no, you can imagine taking that path. So here we are in the jungle, and that was the fastest I ever got my bags. They loaded them into a front loader, brought them right there, and everybody just grabbed them. It was great. Of course, we were in the middle of the jungle. So here we get on this river called the Madre de Dios River, where they shot a movie called Fitzcarraldo. But we missed the boat. So they had to take us upriver in this boat, I forget what they're called, but they're run by a little motor no bigger than this with a little egg beater on the end. So you might as well sit back and relax, because all you're going to do is watch the flocks of parrots go over and watch them cutting the jungles. They're cutting it very quickly. On the river is clear. The reason they're clearing the jungles in those days, and we're talking about, the 80s, is that we were watching the cargo that they grow come downstream. In another couple of days, that was going to be up somebody's nose in the United States. That was Peru, all right? And on that note, and he may not like this, all right? The king of La Chancla, Billy Ramirez.
I was gonna try other stuff, but there's an actual crowd now, so I'm gonna do the same set I was working on for the Haha show. So, anyways, so hold on, let me just pretend. ¿Qué pasa, familia? Es un placer estar aquí con ustedes. Yeah, I like to open up in Spanish sometimes because I look like I might not be able to do it. It's fun pretending, like acting like, feeling like an undercover Latino, especially these days because I'm far more likely to be mistaken for ICE than to be taken by ICE. I don't know if you can tell by the anything. I am first generation Mexican American. ¿Qué pasa, familia? Órale. I've never been able to do that whistle. I wish I could, but if I could, everywhere I'd go would sound like an aviary or a bird store or whatever. As a first generation Mexican American, I've struggled with confidence and anxiety issues my entire life. And I'm pretty sure, I think I know exactly why that is. Mark? Anyways, all right. I think the reason is because I was raised under the rule of La Chancla. Yes, if you're not familiar with what La Chancla is, for some mothers, it's a piece of footwear, like a sandal, and/or a disciplinary device. And my mom was lethal with it. She could deploy it short range and just smack me upside the face before I even knew what happened. Like she was trying to win one of those new power slap competitions, you know, or a power chancla slap, whatever. And then she could also deploy it long range, where if I was in my room and she thought I was screwing around, all of a sudden from around the corner would come a chancla and smack me upside the head. And somehow it would return to her. Like, I don't know how she ever figured out how to boomerang a chancla. Because as far as I know, she never went to Australia or even met an Australian, but somehow she turned into Chancla Dundee, you know, just, you call that a chancla? This is a chancla. You know, yeah, I don't know, but I don't think anyone wants to hear, you know, the grown man complain about his parents. My parents, they did their best. Immigrant parents from Mexico. They sent my brother and I both to college. We both graduated. But at the same time, someone's best could be a C-. And sometimes when I'm hanging out in my not a house, just lying in bed completely alone, or just reviewing my portfolio, which is nothing more than an old trapper keeper full of coupons, sometimes I wonder what heights could I have reached if I had taken fewer chanclasos growing up, fewer chancla smacks. Which, by the way, chancla smacks are part of a balanced, nutritious Latino breakfast. You can find chancla smacks in the cereal aisle next to Honey Nut Pendejos. Like maybe I could have been, see, that's pretty clever, right? Maybe I could have been a VP of marketing somewhere at a big Fortune 500 company with one of those KY 401s or whatever it's called. Instead, right now I have 5 side hustles. They're not even side hustles. They're all main hustles right now, trying to get by. One of which is doing moving work because it's nice because it brings in money. And sometimes I don't feel Mexican enough, so it's nice to do some manual labor every now and then. And plus, with ICE running around, I could easily pick up a shift at Home Depot. You know, they volada, you know. Or maybe I could have been one of those successful bilingual lawyers you see in LA with the billboards, you know. Did you slip on a churro at Disneyland? Call me, you know. Te partiste la madre con un pinche churro en Disneylandia, llámame, you know. But anyways, but speaking of LA, a city that's designed to just shatter your ego and just beat you down, every now and then I get to feel confident in LA. And that's whenever I walk into a Mexican restaurant, a taqueria. Because whenever I go in a taqueria and I hear someone order something like a chicken quesadilla, chicken fajitas, chimichangas. And by the way, it's a tragedy that the actor Eric Estrada and the singer Celia Cruz never teamed up for anything. They could have had a variety show called Chips and Salsa. All right, that one's on the house. But yeah, whenever I hear someone order something in that funky way, I just cannot resist just going completely overboard and just start acting in a telenovela and nobody's shooting. All of a sudden, just, ¿qué tal? Preciosa. Doesn't matter who, could be a dude. Princesa, preciosa, belleza. En este momento yo deseo 3 tacos de carne asada, 2 churros y una Fanta. Gracias, por favor, muy amable, buen provecho, que Dios te bendiga. And when I'm feeling extra confident, I'll throw in some bonus words like agujeta, crepúsculo, ferrocarril, and all that means is just shoelace Twilight Railroad. It doesn't, I don't know, it's dumb. But the problem is I have this face and demeanor, so sometimes I'll order in fluent español, and then in return I'll get a, okay, you want 3 tacos? Hijo de tu puta madre. Fine, Jose, I'll also have a side of that green whack-a-mole, whatever it's called. Like, I know what it's called, but it doesn't really matter where or when I hablo español, you know, a Mexican restaurant or not, because whenever I do, I just cannot resist going overboard and basically start acting like a Latino reporter. I don't know if anyone still watches the local news, but if you do, pay attention to any reporter whose last name ends in EZ. There's a very good chance that reporter is going to take any and every opportunity to celebrate the rich cultural tapestry of the Spanish language. And that's how I hablo español, like a Latino reporter wrapping up a segment. Something like, police don't have any further information on the suspect reporting live from Rancho Santa Margarita. This is Gustavo Gutierrez, el mero mero más chingón, tú sabes, güey, for ABC 7 News. Back to you, Nancy. All right, that was fun. All right, let's see. Actually, now that I'm just gonna turn this into Q&A and commentary. I just can't. I just love it. You walked someone before the show. Yeah, some of you missed out. He walked someone before the show. Shelly stormed out of here. Yeah, there was a whole vaccine discussion, and she just, oh, I've had enough, and she just. Whoosh. Anyways, that was fun. Did you figure out what fucking movie that is? No. God damn it! Why? Tell us what movie. What it said.
So it's set in the winter. It's like an indie horror movie that I rented from Redbox in like 2013, 12. It's a winter area. A couple is going through, and they stop at a gas station, and then they get kidnapped by the gas station owners, and the owners want to cut parts of their body off, sew them on, so they can live forever. And there's a warehouse with a wet floor and a big, like, cheesy, just explosion out of nothing. And then at the end, the dude is stuck in a freezer, and he's not actually dead.
Anyone?
And no.
That
one got by me.
Yeah, me too.
Cut up and sewn on. I've asked ChatGPT.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's not patchwork, by the way. I looked that up. That's not anyways. Bork, this is for you. This is my list of top 3 favorite 1990s NHL goalie names. Okay, starting from number 3, Pokey Reddick. Number 2, Darren Pupa. And number 1, former Ottawa Senator Ron Tugnut. And honorable mention goes to Darcy Wakaluk, because Wakaluk sounds like something you would say when you stub your toe in the dark. All right, here's this one. Yeah, this one's a little out. We'll see how this one goes. So, speaking of watching TV, I've been rewatching The Office, and I don't know why, because I kind of hate everyone in The Office. Like I think everyone is an idiot, it's a moron, or everyone annoys me. Like, watch The Office. I'm like, why am I watching this show? Like, it just upsets me. Like Angela and Phyllis make me want to say the C word, and Kevin makes me want to say the R word, and Stanley makes me relate to his grumpiness, really. I mean, I just, yeah, I understand, working in an office job. Anyways, I don't know. Might be something there. Is anyone here a fan of Tombstone Pizza? Tombstone. I was watching, I had YouTube on the other day. I was working on one screen, I had YouTube on the other screen. And I was watching this video about Italian chefs rank frozen pizza. And I hate to spoil it to you, but Totino's frozen pizza did not win. But at some point, I just turned over and I saw Tombstone Pizza. And I've had Tombstone Pizza before, and it never really struck me the fact that this food is called Tombstone Pizza. Yeah, it's like, and I had to look it up. Apparently, it's named after a restaurant, but it's still called Tombstone Pizza. And I wonder, like, how did it get through? Like, I don't know, maybe, back then it made more sense. I don't know when it came out in the 60s or 70s, but maybe it made more sense. Like they were like, all right, that's so. So we've got the new line of frozen pizza that we want to sell. Anyone has any opinions for a name? Yeah, you. Uh-huh. Did you say Tombstone? Is it named after a restaurant? Okay, I don't know about Tombstone, but let me think about it. Actually, on second thought, Tombstone Pizza makes sense because it'll go perfectly well with the rest of our line of frozen foods, like, like our morgue meatballs and our funeral home fries and our best-selling cancer diagnosis corn dog. Anyways, whatever. All right, probably have time. This one's a silly one. Who here has played those Mario games, like Super Mario Brothers and all that? Okay. When you stomp on a Koopa Troopa and it becomes a shell? Yeah. When you just barely tap the shell and it goes shooting across the floor? You know why that is? Turtle wax. Thank you very much. My name is Billy Ramirez. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at BillyRamirez.com. I mean, no, that's different. My website's BillyRamirez.com. It's my website. But on TikTok and Instagram, you can find me at Middle Aged Muchacho. Thank you very much. Please, welcome back to the stage. He's here already.
Came up prematurely.
I know a lot about that. Anyways.
I bet.
American sweetheart, Mark Zeffrin.
Where's Schwartz?
I don't know.
Talking about premature. Anyhow. Okay, here's the bottom line, and we can take a vote on this. Okay. For all the years that I know this woman, she's been hawking me a chinik, as my mother used to say, about her son got autism from the vaccines they gave him when he came out of her. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, I had kids too. You had kids. They didn't give them vaccines when they came out of Sunda. No, you wait 3 months. She's the only one that insists that the medical community is out here to get her. All right? So I said to her finally, and this is why she got mad, after we had the argument about the polio vaccine, which, by the way, works. All right? And then about Bill Gates forcing little African kids to take the polio vaccine with German shepherds and guns. That one's a little much, all right? Think about it. I mean, and that RFK is doing this. Listen, the reason he's against vaccines, he's an ex-junkie. Needles scare him. He does. That's it. Bottom line, he knows what they're like. And then it came down to, she said, how did you know your son was autistic at 3 months? He ate his poop. He did this. He did that. And I said, doesn't sound autistic to me. Maybe it was the wrong diagnosis. That's what she stormed out. She probably thinks I was accusing her kid of being developmentally disabled. All right? The problem is she started the whole conversation out with 1 in 12 kids in L.A. are autistic. Then Billy came in and said something, and then I said, well, do the math. If there's 1 in 12, it ain't going to work. Here's the bottom line. Do you know why you have a very small proportion of Mexican-American children with autism? La chancla. They don't need medication. They need la chancla. And do you know why you don't have that bigger proportion of African-American kids with autism? Ass whoopings. The truth of the matter is, I had a child who was accused of having ADHD. Next thing they were going to tell me, when she didn't want to speak when she was 2 or 3 and recognized everything on writing, they were about ready to tell me she was autistic. She was accused of every single little childhood myth you can. Well, let me tell you what happens in autism, all right? You can't have 1 in 12 Americans autistic. They can't hardly teach the good kids how to read. I mean, what are we talking about? Wanting a whole nation of zombies? All right. On one more note, talking about McDonald's, and this is for Maddie. I saw a television show the other day, and you're thinking about Ozempic and McDonald's, and there's this black man sitting in, it's the show House. Great show. The amazing thing that they do every night is they save the world. So here we are, this black guy comes into the clinic, and he has high blood pressure, all right? And everybody here knows I have accused McDonald's of killing my brother-in-law. He did. He died from acute McDonald's poisoning, from quote high blood pressure. So the black doctor's writing the drug and says, I'm going to give you this new high blood pressure drug. It's targeted towards black men. It has zinc in it or something that helps them because they have higher incidence. He goes, what are you giving? I don't want to hear about it. How'd they test that? I'm looking at this thinking this was not tested at Tuskegee. They closed that place down. This isn't a syphilis drug. He then comes back, and the white doctor gives him the same drug, but tells him he gave him the Republican blood pressure medicine. He gets pissed off. He says, I don't want a racist drug. How can a drug be racist? Right? What drug is racist? You think about it. But I'll tell you what is racist. McDonald's. More black men have died from McDonald's than anything else. And on the note of that, we're going to bring up that scion of the Democratic Party, your host for the Film Actors Cafe, the best drama teacher on Santa Monica Boulevard. You all have to take his class because comics can't act. They don't like to follow the script. Anyhow, and Aaron will teach you how not to follow the script and get away with it. We're calling him up right now. Aaron McIntyre.
Oh, shit.
Bring your stuff up?
Yeah, 'cause this time I got some shit, you know?
Oh, no, we're in trouble.
Telling you, we're in trouble now, I'm telling you. We were talking about kids and beatings, right? I had an argument with my sister for 4 days where every time she came up, this was before I had a kid, and she would say, "You're going to beat your kid. You're going to have to hit her. Every once in a while, you're going to have to hit her." That's how she talks, too, which she fucking grew up in the Air Force. I don't know where she got that accent, but my whole family did it. My mom, my dad. My mom and dad were called Grams and Pappy. And I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? They grew up in L.A., you know? I mean, and everybody called them Grams and Pappy, and I would not. I refused. They're my mother, my father. They're not my grandparents. But anyway, I had this big, long fight with my sister where she's saying I'm going to hit him, and we're like, no, we're not going to hit our kid. We're not going to hit our kid. 3 days, she kept bringing it up. Yeah, there's going to be one time where they're poking a dog through the fence, and you're just going to have to give them a swat. It was the greatest day of my life when my daughter turned 21. She had already successfully moved herself without any help from us to New Zealand. She went to college. She got a degree. She works in a youth concentration camp. It's just a prison. Don't worry, it's not a concentration camp. It's a juvenile detention facility. And it was the greatest day of my life when I told my sister we never smacked her once. She turned out just great. So just goes to prove you don't have to do it if you're smart enough to deal with the 3-year-old. Because they are smart. But I am thinking about selling my daughter into slavery because the Bible says to. You know, they say you can sell your children into slavery. Anybody do 23andMe? 23andMe, anybody? Yeah, you did it. So you find out, you know, your genetic history and who the people are in your family and stuff like that. You find out if there are any diseases or anything you have, you know, and I found out I have something. A daughter, and she's 43 years old now, and I didn't know about her until 3 years ago, so that was kind of embarrassing, but not, because it was the 70s. Yes, I am from the mid-1900s. That's when I was born, in the mid-1900s. I actually, some people have noticed I shaved off my beard. I'm going for the number 2 pencil look. You know, it's trying to be a little eraser up there, you know. I am also in recovery, so yes, thank you. I haven't had a drink in about 23 and a half hours, so thank you. I'm going to an AA meeting right after that, right after this here, and I'm going to pick up my 24-hour chip, you know, because you get a 24-hour chip, a 1-month chip, a 3-month, then they start skipping more. They go to 6, and then they go to a year. I'm going to pick up another chip, and I've got about 8,650 of them. And as soon as I hit 10,000, I'm going to quit. You know, I've set a goal. That's the way I have to do things. I'm celibate at this point, you know. Although, is it celibate if you masturbate every day? Because I do. Sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. As a matter of fact, I had to take my blood test for my prostate twice because the first time it was like 6 and it's supposed to be 4. She's like, "Oh, this could be bad. So you need to go in, but you can't have sex for 3 days." And it took me 3 weeks to get to the thing because I couldn't stop masturbating for that long. You know, it's just, so finally I made the 3 days and I went in and thank you, it's 3.8. So that just proves that theory that masturbation does make your PS levels go up. So if anybody's curious out there about your prostate, let's see here. You know, one of the things I'm really confused about is the vernacular now. Somebody was mentioning the things that people say, you know, say to you. Like when somebody says, you know, have a good one. It's like, a good one what? What? Is it a day? Is it a month? Is it a year? Have a good life? I can't figure it out. But in all fairness, to anyone who's watching, if you ever wished me a good day or a good year or a good one, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. I'm my own man. I wanted to get to something here, you know. Maddie, you were talking about one of the things that bothers you is stairs. I thought you meant people staring, because people are staring at me all the time. A little 3-year-old rides by and goes, Mom, that man's bald. Yeah. And what is it with the fucking guys with the top knots? You know, the top knots, and then they got the side of their head shaved all the way around here. It's like, fuck you. I can shave all the hair here, and where you can't grow it, I can grow a whole bunch. It's like a big fuck you. I don't like it. I did want to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk. I saw Charlie Kirk the other day. Oh, my God, that man is such a fucking idiot. He was at Oxford, and he was debating all these young Oxford students, and they fucking smoked his ass. And one of the things that came up is something that you were talking about, because he was saying, you know, he's talking about how women have to have babies, and that's the only way they're going to be happy is if they start having babies. And it's like, if we don't stop having babies, we're going to be wading through them out there, man. There's going to be babies everywhere. But anyway, he was saying, that's the only way women go. Why are women so much more depressed now? And the girl goes, well, they're actually not more depressed now. It's just that before, when they would complain about being depressed, they would be lobotomized or given shock treatment. And he was saying how much women would be so much happier. And this young woman, it was so fucking smart, and she said, you know, if you were really all about being happy as a human being, you wouldn't be so against gay people, you know, right? Am I right? Thank you. I get a little applause. That's the first time I think I've ever got that on, except for when I say I'm in recovery, which. Yeah, right. And as far as Colin was talking about, where did Colin go? Colin left. He was talking about, I always wanted to invent the triangular cat box. Because I think that it would be really good because you could put it in a corner, you know, and it wouldn't stick out and stuff like that. And I had big plans when I was 12 to make a triangular cat box. I don't know. And now all the kids down in Texas are becoming furries, and they're demanding that they have cat boxes or something. They're actually putting together a law. They're trying to pass a bill to stop schools from providing cat boxes. And the person goes, well, where are they doing the cat boxes? And they said, well, we don't have any reports of it yet, but we're putting together a bill in case they do. I mean, I didn't think that's how things worked. Yeah, I have to say that there are two women who've been on my mind, Ghislaine and Sydney. Because they're so closely related, you know, because, you know, you got the trafficker and then you got the traffickee who's now, you know, pumping jeans out there, you know, making sure everybody's got blue eyes and big breasts like Mark likes. Yeah. Oh, what's the last one here? Anybody have a pony? Anybody want a pony when you were a kid? Anybody want a pony? No, you want an Xbox or a Walkman, which goes over half of the audience's head because they don't even know what a Walkman, thank you, Walkman is. But anyway, I never wanted a fucking pony, but my brother wanted me to have a pony because he was a big cowboy. He came out, you know, again, I don't know where my parents got, my brothers got this, but he wanted to be a cowboy. He said, we got this Shetland pony for $10. Yeah. Shetland ponies are cheap because they're fucking assholes. They're idiots. They're terrible. He would bite me all the time. And it was just a terrible thing. Really, really hated that horse until one day I was going to school on the bus, and it had been snowing. And I looked out the bus window, and there was my horse laying in a ditch. He'd been hit by a car. He got out of the, poor Puzzles. But that was the only day that I loved him, you know, because I wept and wept. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I do have a class here Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Show up. Just try it out. See if you like it. I got a way that you don't have to memorize, so it's fun. There's 3 people in here who you can ask that question to, and they will affirm that, I think. I hope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much. Let's bring up Mark Zaffron.
Yeah. on. You're on. By the way, I have no thing on big breasts. In case anybody's noticed, I'm not married to a woman with big breasts. I've never really gone out with women with big breasts, but twice. All right, one of which was a girl in law school, and then and then the other one who had big breasts was a friend of mine. It was a colleague, and she used to argue with me about something going on in the office, and I noticed that she used to get excited, and her nipples would get huge. But so at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the size of the mammary glands. By the way, the Sydney Sweeney ad for all of you out there in TV land has to do with freedom. It has to do with being able to make a joke. It be slightly off color. It be and not be accused of being canceled. So what happened? They made can you imagine Dylan Mulvaney doing that ad? Hi, I have great genes. Really? And what are you? Now you see, none of you laugh because you're afraid. Because somebody's gonna come in here and say, "How dare you laugh at a transgender joke?" That's the whole point of the Sydney Sweeney ad. We have to laugh again. It's a funny joke. I never liked the bitch, by the way. I always thought she was a little bit, facile. And she's not a Nazi, though. She didn't write the ad. She's not bright enough. Think about that. Anyhow, as you're talking about furries and cat boxes, how many kids have been accused of having ADHD because they peed in the sandbox at school? Think about it. The one kid that goes in the corner because he has to go and pees, oh, he has ADHD, we better put him on Ritalin. No, it's about having to go. This whole thing, any kid, those of the 1 in 12 kids in America that are autistic, they become furries? No, this doesn't work. Not of it. Not. You don't dress up as a cat. You can make believe. I remember the last person who dressed up as a cat. None of you remember her. All right? She had so much plastic surgery to look like a cat. She bankrupted 3 husbands. Just on plastic surgery alone. Anyhow, we are going to bring up a man who's having his sophomore appearance at the LA School of Comedy, the safest place, except for people who give me shit about vaccines, the safest place for comedians. Armando Yee! Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. Pleasure to be here. I gotta say, I am feeling extra Mexican today for some reason. I'm feeling extra Mexican, but I like Sydney Sweeney. I'll say that. I don't know too much about her, but I like Sydney Sweeney. I'm Armando Yee Jr. Obviously, there's another Armando Yee out there, Armando Yee Sr., 1.0, 2.0. I guess I got the good English, by the way. But a lot of people say to me, Yee, you don't look like a Yee. What is that? Korean, Chinese, Filipino? It's Chinese. I'm Mexinese. I'll tell you, Mexinese. My father is 1/4 Chinese. My mother is Mexican. And that makes me, of course, 100% confused when people ask me, what kind of rice do you like? I like arroz, white, and I like it all. But I've always said, by the way, the most Chinese part of my body, it's my brain. My brain is the most Chinese part of my body, meaning I can calculate things very quickly. I can calculate how many tacos I eat before I pass out. I can also calculate the tax tip and how much free chips and salsa I can eat before they start charging me. Otherwise, I skedaddle very quickly. Growing up, as you can imagine, in a Mexican household, the comidas were delicious. We had wonton caldo, wonton soup, and we also had, at one point, believe it or not, we had burritos with fortune cookies stuffed inside. I wasn't quite sure if it was some sort of warning or if it was dessert. At one point, we'd crack open a fortune cookie, and it'd say, crack open the fortune cookie. Not going to damage this beautiful mic. Crack open the fortune cookie, it'd say, chancla time. We all know what chancla time is, not pleasant. Other times I'd open the fortune cookie, you'd say things like, ponte a trabajar, get to work. Very pessimistic household, Mexican households. Glad to be here in a more positive environment. But in all sincerity, I grew up in Tijuana. I was born in, thank goodness, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen, everybody. I grew up in Tijuana. Would cross the border every day to San Diego to go to school. By the time I sat down in my seat, I'd been profiled, cross-examined, interrogated, patted down by my abuelita, by my grandmother. She just wanted to check that I had my burritos for lunch ready to go. But crossing the border every day, as you can imagine, you become bilingual very quickly. I learned Spanish, English, and Border Patrol small talk. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I'll never forget. Border Patrol small talk, the car pulls up to the border. Officer knocks on the window. You say, these were some of my first English words, really. Good morning, officer. Officer looks down. He's like, anything to declare? And I would, first English words here, no declaration, no mango, no apple, no banana. I'm starting to sweat bullets knowing that in my backpack I have a burrito, I have a huge bag of hot Cheetos, and my cousin Jorge hiding in the back seat. I didn't want him to find that. But in all sincerity, we made it safely here. I now live in Santa Monica, just down the street here. And the whole ICE situation, I gotta say, it's getting serious. I was at the car wash, not this one, the one down on Lincoln, and I pull up to the car wash, and it's like a ghost town. There was literally like a ghost town. I pulled up, there was the hose on the ground, the rag on the ground, the wiping thing. It was like an alien abduction or the second coming of Christ. I wasn't sure what was going on. I said to the gentleman, what's happening? Where is everybody? He said, the Iceman, Dean Cain. I was like, Dean Cain? They knew Dean Cain's name. I don't know if you may have heard about this. Dean Cain just recently joined ICE. They're the Super Iceman. He used to be former Superman, but they know about Dean Cain, the Iceman. I immediately obviously tipped myself, backed out of the car, washed my car, and now I kid you not, I carry my passport, my birth certificate, and you may or may not have seen this. These are real. These are cards that have your amendment rights on there. So there's some positivity of all of this. We Mexicans were getting a lot smarter about the Constitution. We know the Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and even it's in English, but sometimes if you see a Mexican going like this, cinco, it's not 5, it's Fifth Amendment, no talking. 4, no, you can't come in. So, in all honesty, there's some positivity in all this. We're getting very smart about, never knew that this is what it would take, but we are learning about our constitutional rights, and that's a positive. Santa Monica, beautiful place. There's a lot of things we can talk about. I'm sure everybody has seen the Waymo, the self-driving cars. Everybody's self-driving cars. I like the self-driving cars. I haven't been in a self-driving car, but I also am getting a little cautious. They're getting aggressive, the self-driving cars. The other day, self-driving car cut me off. I didn't know how to react. I said, wait a minute, what do I do here? Do I honk? There's nobody driving. I ended up honking at the self-driving car. Car pulls up next to me, window rolls down, and I hear a voice saying, learn to code. I was like, whoa, goodness gracious, holy smokes. Overall, I love living in Santa Monica, and thankfully it's been a wonderful time. I overcame a condition, some of you may be familiar with this, IBS. Yeah, not I bullshit, irritable bowel syndrome. Thankfully, I overcame that, but it was not the easiest thing. I would have at IBS, sometimes you have to go to the bathroom at the least convenient places where hundreds of thousands of people. The worst was at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And you don't want to go there. I said, no, why do you do this to me? It was just what you go into the bathroom, toilet paper on the ground. Some of the stalls don't have doors. You see doo-doo on the literally what you expect. And ultimately, when you have to go, you have to go. You go into the stall, you see, I don't know if you've seen this toilet seat graffiti on the toilet seat. This is bizarre. This I don't understand. You see some toilet seat graffiti. It's like somebody brought tools to etch things into the seat. You take a seat and you feel, I love Karen on your behind. All of a sudden, if there is a door, you close the door and you see motivational words speaking to you, saying things like, you can do it. In my mind, I'm like, I don't need motivation right now. I just need to get through this. My gosh. Overall, I'm glad to have beat that. And now, as an adult, I'm happy. I'm grateful for regularity. When I was younger, I used to like going to Disneyland. Now I simply just have a good day when I just go. And I'm happy for a 401k. I'm happy for a great number 2. I pray now for success, and I pray for regularity, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. That's my time, and thank you very much.
Here we go. Hey, give Armando a big hand.
Thank you.
Coming star here at the LA School of Comedy. Yep, you never know where you going.
I do have another rehearsal I gotta get to. I don't mean to be rude.
Well, I'll use your chair now. Much more comfortable. Good to see you. Rehearsal. You never know with these people. Women. Anyhow, you think that's funny, right? I'm not a funny guy. You realize that. My wife forces me to come up here. God knows why. I think she just wants me to keep my eye on the non-existent cash jar. With all due respect. Anyhow, I'm running out of things to say, but I have to dig into, my deep heart, Zoran Mondani. Does anybody know anything and watching anything that's going on in New York with Zoran Mandami? First of all, he sounds like a bad villain from a movie from Saturday Night Live. Zoran Mandami. And the other thing is, you can never trust politician with big teeth. That's it. You can't. The last communist we had in the White House, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, had big teeth. Jimmy Carter had huge teeth. Jimmy Carter, unfortunately, cloaked his stupidity in God. You know, it's all okay for Jimmy because I only lusted in my heart. Well, the best thing is, let's talk, guys. All right? Ghislaine Maxwell has mossed, told, and snitched on Bill Clinton. He denied that he ever had sex with those women. They got him. I can't wait to see what happens next because Hillary is violent. As soon as his name comes out, he's a dead man. You think the server was bad? You think when she ripped apart the bedroom in the White House was bad? There are going to be lamps flying over that place. I told you not to go with that pervert. And then he turned around to her and he said, I told you not to be with Huma Abedin. I mean, come on, guys. Now, you know, take a bit because I knew the husband and he was stone cold. Anthony. Yep. His doctor was a friend of mine, actually a client, told me that Anthony was treated for anal fissures. So let's not talk about why he was married to Huma Abedin. And while we're on the subject, of course, George Soros' kid looks like he's a little light in the loafers also. And why are they really getting married? They got married because spousal immunity. Neither one could tell on each other because both of them were wrapped up in the Russia collusion shit. That's why they're going after Adam Schiff. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do have something to say. You ever notice they're now talking about all these appearances by UFOs? You know why there are more UFOs, because Biden let in all the aliens. And on that note, we have David Schneider.
Political science class here and everything. I love this place. All right, well, my wife and me, we are addicted to streaming TV shows. Every day and night, searching for new shows to watch. It's gotten to the point where I got no time for your politics and your pronouns. What's more important to me, what I really want to know, what are you watching? Now, to do my part as man of the house, I got every pay channel there is, okay? That's amazing how you forget things, huh?
All right.
Yeah, it's a little pricey, but I believe to make it work, you got to invest in the relationship. Now, I can tell some of you single ladies out there, who left, some of you single ladies out there are probably thinking, hey, David, how do we even go about meeting a guy like you? Good news, ladies, it's easier than you think, okay? Next time you're on a first date, don't wonder what car he drives. Instead, ask what channels he got, all right? If it's only basic cable, that's okay. You know, if you're content just watching Seinfeld reruns. Add Netflix, Amazon Prime. He's got potential. You could work with this. But on top of all of that, he got Hulu, Apple, Peacock. Well then, ladies, maybe the problem is you if that date ends without you guys picking out baby names, all right? Because having lots of channels, it's a status symbol. You don't believe me? You ever recommend a show on Apple to a friend and find out he don't got Apple? The shame on his face. You feel terrible inside thinking, ooh, business must be bad. I bet his ex-wife got Apple in the divorce. Let's see what else comes up. You know what I miss about those old TV shows and the old movies that they just don't do anymore? They used to give me a heads up when out of nowhere there's a flashback. You remember that shit? It was like across the screen 10 years earlier. Right then I knew. It's 10 years earlier. Now it's on me to notice we're suddenly back in the 80s because the main character's wearing dolphin shorts, listening to a Walkman. This shit's real simple, okay? If they're not going to tell me it's a flashback every 2 minutes, then the characters got to start wearing name tags. My wife and I like to watch documentaries about serial killers and how they're caught on Netflix. Love that forensic science stuff, right? The only problem is Netflix will recommend shows based on that. Since you like shows with dismembered bodies, how about these shows, you sick fucks? Where the FBI is going to show up. We had to binge watch all 6 seasons of Downton Abbey just to cleanse our viewing history. We saw this great documentary. Nah, it's better than great. Fucking amazing documentary about historic buildings on PBS. I like PBS. What do you think of that? I'll watch PBS from time to time, you know, until they start begging for money. Then they can go fuck themselves. Making me feel like a freeloading sack of shit because I'm not a paid member, you know, trying to entice me to buy that membership with a gift from the, let me try that again. Try and entice me to buy a membership with a gift like Greatest Hits from the Carpenters. As if I got the willpower to walk away from that. But the documentary was amazing. Did you know it only took 2 years to complete the Eiffel Tower? And a little bit more than 1 year to complete the Empire State Building, which is true? It's amazing. Let me tell you something. If you're not blown away by that, consider this. A couple of years ago, it took 3 years. 3 long years just to complete the final season of Yellowstone. An amazing piece of shit. And by the way, whenever a new season starts again of a show, am I the only one that needs a 7-hour recap? Because I don't remember shit, you know? I mean, maybe it'd be helpful if they put the recap scenes in the same fucking order as originally shown. It's like trying to solve a puzzle. It's like, whoa, didn't this scene happen before the last 2 seasons? And this is why my wife is my soulmate, because she remembers everything about these shows. I could ask her anything and get an answer, although occasionally I'll ask something that I could tell she's questioning the marriage. And I'll know this because she'll roll her eyes at me and start her answer off with 2 words. 2 words that puts chills down my spine, emasculates me. 2 words. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it has never been followed by, great question, David. How do you think of these questions? Must be a gift. No, pause it is followed by a 20-minute dissertation on the show. And I got a confession. Even my wife doesn't know this. Half the time, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. All right, that's all I got so far. Thanks. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, big guy.
God, cut and paste.
Cut and paste is right.
Jesus Christ. Anyhow, talking about PBS. Trump didn't kill PBS. No. Streaming did. What was PBS when you're coming up? Masterpiece Theater. Brother Cadfile. Right? Cadfile. Right? Right? Yeah, Mr. Bean. You don't need that shit anymore. You got it on the BBC channel on Roku. There's no need for PBS. I didn't watch it to watch, you know, all the stupid bullshit political crap. I watched it to watch Cadfile and the Masterpiece Theater and iClodius. Remember iClodius? Those were good British shows. Now I watch British shows. They're pretty weird. I watched a crazy show called Luther. All right, about a psychotic cop in London. Then there was all the crazy shows. The British put out more fucking mystery and cop dramas than anything I've ever seen. For a country that abhors guns, the cops all seem to carry guns on TV. I guess because you can't have a television show without a gun, right? And when you talk about pause, that pause button is pretty good. How else are you going to go take a pee without missing something? Think about it. Modern science with TV isn't so bad. All right? It's what's on TV that's bad. And, you know, tonight I'm thinking I'm going to go home and I have my choice. Do I watch Strange New Worlds, save it for tomorrow, or do I watch reruns of House? And on the thought of reruns of House, we're going to, speaking of houses, we're going to bring up Jared Taylor, also known as Bob the Builder. He can make it work.
Hey, it's good to be with y'all tonight. Hey, that last bit about who comes out with the memberships, the show memberships, like that is real. Like I'm getting through a divorce, and my wife, like she's coming out of this deal with Amazon Prime, and there was quite a bit of money spent through Audible on books, and I don't know, she's coming out way ahead through this divorce on intellectual property bought on Audible, and now, and you know, she was smart. Like, she'd been married before, so she knew, like, hey, get these in your login. You know, the username is to be in your email, so when things turn south, like, yeah, like, you're the owner of these shows. So what I'm reduced to now is, you know, I quit Netflix. I'm on a budget. We're working through this divorce issue, and, you know, got to pay a lawyer too. So, you know, I kind of can sneak into the Hulu, but I don't have access to the Netflix and the Amazon Prime. So, you know, I'm just kind of reduced to reading some books and watching YouTube right now. So, but I should be out there, you know, building myself, exercising, you know, more focusing on me through this time. But yeah, I just want to tell you this tale of a 25-year marriage gone south, you know, just putting lots of time and just, you know, how just being nice and thinking that, you know, if I make this covert contract with my wife, that, you know, things are gonna turn around in the end. And no, I'm just gonna let you know that, yeah, it's resulting in a splituation. And what we're looking at is, yeah, about 2 years ago, my wife and I, we moved down here to Los Angeles, and we were both taking on new jobs. And I found an employment there at LAX, so working in project management down there. And she's in art history and was looking to find work here in LA. And you know, LA has awesome potential. I think for her background, you know, we've got like the Getty Villa, we've got the Getty Museum, we've got the Huntington Library. I mean, there's numerous like museums, and that's her thing. So I thought that LA was going to work out great in her behalf. But what happened was, you know, we're just a couple months down here, and she's like, you know, I'm hunting for work, and I'm thinking like Queens. I'm thinking in Queens. You know, we're just here at the West Coast. We just left Utah to be down here in LA, and so already I'm thinking like, you want to go to the East Coast, and you know, as she's going deeper in her job search, she's thinking like she wants to go into like ancient, get closer to the ancient art of her studies. And you know, I put her through this PhD program, and you know, was pretty nice. And I think just supporting that effort, and so she gets through it. And so she ends up applying to a job in Kuwait, of all places. And I was like, Kuwait, and so it's not long before I'm packing a bag for my 25-year college-aged sweetheart, and I'm sending her off on this job in Kuwait, of all places. And, you know, as I'm learning, as she's going on this job through a trial basis, I'm learning more about the Kuwaiti culture. And I mean, just to give you an idea as to, you know, Kuwait happens to be right on the equator, just in case you're wondering. It is like the sun is like bearing down on you 100%. It is super hot there. She's dealing with an HR department that is insane. I mean, people are being let go for the most random reasons. There was a male teacher that touched the hand of a female student, and he's gone. And then you had one teacher that said, "Hey, I'm out sick. I'm going in for surgery," and thought he had permission, but he comes back to no job waiting for him as he returns back. So I'm hearing all this drama, and I'm thinking like, she's bound to come back here to LA, and this is going to work out. I think has had this detour, and you know, as we're learning more about Kuwait, you know, we're brought up as Mormons, you know, and the Kuwaiti culture has some similarities to her Mormon life, to her Mormon upbringing, and that is like no alcohol, which we're fine with, no, you know, very family oriented, PMS, like no premarital sex, and so I feel like she's adapting and she's received well into this Kuwaiti culture. It's not too bad, but there's some aspects to Kuwait. You know, if you look at the history of Kuwait, we came to Kuwait's aid in the early 80s, in which Saddam Hussein felt like he was entitled to Kuwaitis oil, and so he gets his Republican Guard together, and they take on this country of Kuwait. And since our General Schwarzkopf came to their aid, and I think we just kind of tore through their army and freed up this country in very quick fashion, the Kuwaiti people have loved Americans, and they just love our fast food. And you can find Cheesecake Factory, Pizza Hut, burger joints. I mean, and their mall culture. It's like being in the 80s of America. Just they love their malls. They love their well air-conditioned malls and shopping. And I think it's just a matter of time before these Kuwaitis balloon up in size to Americans, because they're just loving our fast food life. They're loving kind of the leisurely way of living, right close to the air conditioner. And it's tough to argue with that. It's a good life. But it's, so, and as this unfolds, I'm actually thinking, hey, perhaps I should look at work opportunities in the Middle East. And she's saying, you know what, you find your jobs through the web portals. There's no need for you to come here and network. And I was like, hey, that's how I've always found my jobs. I show up at businesses, and that's how I'm able to find work. And she's like, hey, just hang tight. Just, and so I give that a rest. And then I remember hey, she's got a contact through an upper person through the Kuwaiti government, some through her academic studies. She came across an individual who referred her to somebody that could help grease the wheels there in Kuwait. And she's like, hey, let's not call in that favor, so let's hold off on you using this individual to help you find work here. And so, yeah, I'm hanging tight. And, but, all in all, we're finding that this prominent connection, yeah, he wasn't going to work. My daughter, she decides to spend a summer with her mom, and she goes on this internship. And what was crazy about this internship that she had? She goes there thinking it's going to be a paid position, Monday through Friday, working at an engineering firm. She's a young civil engineering student, and she goes there, and the the office manager says, hey, tell you what, why don't you just come here once a week, and this position, although you thought it was paid, it's now unpaid. And, it wasn't long before my daughter is returning back on the airplanes. I think she'd have enough with her mom. But, there were aspects of this marriage that were just kind of falling apart. And it was a long-distance relationship. But over time, I'm feeling like she's pulling away from me. I can feel like she's getting to a point where she's wanting to separate officially. And yeah, and I get the sense that she fell for a colleague there in Kuwait. So I don't know. So it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. And but you know what? On the other end, I'm much better off. In this new situation, I feel like the future's bright. I'm gonna get with. I am living the celibate scene right now. I'm still going through this divorce. I haven't dated yet, but I know there's going to be some high quality women out there. So I'm just getting through this, and we're going to see this divorce through. I mean, she is pulling some funny business on. She wants alimony, which means all the money, and she is saying that her bank in Kuwait does not produce bank statements. So, I mean, how valid is that? So, I don't know. We got to work through some things with our attorneys. But, yeah, it's I just put up with a decent amount of nonsense that I'm just ready to break free from. And, hey, life is good. So, taking care of myself. I'm getting out to those stairs in Santa Monica. And, oh, my gosh, these stairs, they are ridiculous. They are 110 vertical feet. And by the end of it, I'm just arm over arm, just inching my way up, and just trying to get out there. I mean, there's no better place to be in the summertime than Los Angeles. You got beautiful sun here, and I think, and perhaps here I am on stage. I had a little hiatus. I was on Romper Room as a child. You know, I think I was about 8 years old. Spent a week on Romper Room, and that was probably my first entry into the arts. And here I am, like, you know, 43 years later, I'm back contributing to the National Endowment for the Humanities, and so it's great to be a part of that. So, hey, you've all been a great audience. I wish you all well. Thank you much.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Will, where's your social media?
Social media is JT Springer on Instagram.
Yeah, his wife sprung like a Reebok. I don't know what was the first thing that she was having an affair. No woman goes to Kuwait voluntarily. Think that through. Somebody was paying the way. Anyhow, I don't know what it is. The thing is, if my wife was in Kuwait and was trying to divorce me from Kuwait, I'd go like this. Come here for your deposition. That's the end of the lawsuit. Alimony.
I'm a nice guy. I felt like
Why?
we still had it.
Why? Give me one good reason you got to be nice. You're just hurting yourself. There we go. Anyhow, why are we talking about divorce? Very, very depressing topic. Aaron knows. I know. Ramirez don't know. All right, some other people do. But on that note, okay, I've run out of things to say about politicians today. All right, but I still believe that it's Joe Biden's fault that there are more UFOs. And the other reason there are more UFOs, see, here's the thing about Joe Biden. You can always, well, you think about it. We've talked about autistic children. We've talked about ass whoopings. Tell me what part of Hunter didn't get an ass whooping. I mean, really. I mean, not that everybody here has been an angel, except for probably Jared. You know how the Mormons are. And there's no illicit drugs or alcohol. But you look at that man. He produced one junkie son that slept with his brother's wife. And you going to tell me there's a strong moral character there? I wouldn't want my kids to stay over at the Biden house. You never know who's going to be hunting up their dress for mushrooms. Anyhow, on that note, we're going to call Hunter White.
Keep it going for Mark. The reason there are more reports of UFOs is the same reason Fox News talks about Sydney Sweeney. It's a distraction from all the chaos going on in the world. All right, that's my rant. How you doing, guys? Billy, I realized something. So when I drive into work on Sepulveda, there's like a road sign. And every time I stop next to it, I just do an impression of you because it says El Camino Real. So I'm just El Camino Real, middle-aged muchacho. That's my mornings. Thank you so much. No, I don't give a shit about Sydney Sweeney. I really don't care. The one thing I want to say, though, I think it was really rude that Trump outed Sydney Sweeney as a Republican. He's like, I don't care your political affiliation. Because, like, Thomas Crooks, the Trump ear shooter, he was a Republican. Party doesn't really matter. It's good to be here. For those who don't know, I was homeless for a month last month, and I went through a breakup. So I've had like a wild time, and I'm proud to report, despite the beard, I am no longer homeless. Thank you so much. It's interesting living with roommates again. Because, like, before I lived with, like, my ex, and, like, there's 6 of us in the new place, which is fine, big house. But, like, my roommates are great, but, like, they don't love me. Right? Right? Like, I don't even know if they like me, but they definitely don't love me yet. So I feel like I need to temper down a little bit. Right? Like, not misrepresent who I am, but, like, headphones when I'm listening to Epstein stuff, right? Right. Like, again, not lying who I am, but they don't need to hear about all the rabbit holes I fall down. No, it's cool. They're like a cool group of people, and it's weird. Like, they all seem like good eggs, which is unique when you move into roommates. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. So back in New York, I used to do this show every week, Thursday night. Starts at like 11, really starts at like 12:30. It was a wild show, guys. Like, it was chaos. Like, I once had a schizophrenic person take the mic and tried to fight me, okay? And like multiple people tried to fight me. They wanted to fight me. me, right? Like, it was a wild time, chaos. But, like, I kept going back for a few reasons. Because there was, like, a real audience there all the time. If you could get them to listen, jokes to work, they could work anywhere. The second, you could do as much time as you wanted. Like, actually as much time, right? Like, and if they liked you, you maybe had to do a little more. The host one night just disappeared, and I had to do, like, 45 minutes, right? Wild time. Mostly just talking to crazy people. And the third is I could often do cocaine. It was a fun bonus. Cocaine and comedy. I was a wild boy back in the day. Cocaine and comedy, don't really recommend it. It's often just like jumbled and very sweaty. Like, it's not great. Cocaine and comedy, now that's an experience. Right, like my energy plus cocaine. Like, I don't ever want to go back there. But that was art. It was fun times. It was weird times. But, like, here's the thing about, like, doing cocaine and comedy way out in Queens is you meet really interesting people. I met this dude. He did crack. He was like, I could hook it up, bro. I'm like, I'm good, but, like, what was that like, right? It was just curious. So, like, I talked to him for, like, 20 minutes. I'm like, that sounds phenomenal. I'm good. Like, it's too good. I tell you this story because, couple months after I'd moved into a new apartment, I met most of the roommates. They all seemed really nice. I was coming home from work one day. The final roommate come up, and it was the crack guy. I've met all these new roommates. None seem like crack people, so we're good. I like the first half of that story. Cool. I don't know, a breakup, everything, even if you're not homeless as a result, it like really kind of destabilizes everything. Right? Like, I had to ask myself some serious questions. And the big one was, like, am I gay enough for a glory hole? Like, I've never had any romantic or sexual attraction towards another man, but can I close my eyes and roll those dice? I was broke for the whole time because, like, being homeless, surprising, very expensive. You have to, like, find a place to live. But, like, I would recommend... Here's the thing. I'm kind of grateful that I was homeless when the breakup happened. Because, like, having to find a place to sleep every few days really breaks up the whole grieving process into, like, manageable chunks. And, like, also, you should totally be broke while you break up with someone, right? I highly recommend it. Because, like, you can't distract yourself. Right? You have to just be there, right? I couldn't spend a bunch of money on cocaine or OnlyFans. I had to be present, right? Like, I don't have the credit to Klarna a VR headset and just disappear into an erotic void. I gotta get my life together. Just sounds like I'm justifying emotional self-harm, but that's fine. Crack pipe, I did that. I got some dirty ones. I was going to ask permission, but Sunda's not here, so we can let loose. I thought I'd be able to jerk off with Instagram, but it just goes from, like, good boy and tits to how to heal your nervous system. It's like puppies. I don't need this right now. Okay. So, like, my ex was a ginger. She's a natural redhead. So one benefit of, like, me and her breaking up is now when we go out, I no longer have to consistently watch black dudes try to fuck my girlfriend. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but, like, red hair on a pretty lady, it's like Dragon Ball Z. Black dudes love it. I'm trying to do things to, like, everyone's like, do stuff to make you happy that you've always wanted to do. So I'm trying to do that. I've often talked about skydiving in here. Aaron has a skydiving sticker on his car, so we talked about it. Now me, him, and Billy might all jump out of a plane together. That's a whole thing. But I realized I haven't asked any questions. Like, I'm really curious how expensive skydiving is, because I feel like these are all the money or just like 57 cents in an IOU. Right? Let's see. It's either $1,000 or a barter system. It's just the whole vibe of it all. I'm also want to go to a Pokemon trading card convention. I don't even really like Pokemon. I just want to see happy people in groups. I'm gonna go to the last Blockbuster. It's in Bend, Oregon. I have a dream of getting, like, a picture and a hat. Those are my dreams. You know what my ex's dream was? Buying a house. Maybe different phases in our life. Who knows? I I don't know. I am doing well. I'm positive. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you. But it's I don't know. I'm trying to like remind myself of how well I'm doing because like I feel like I'm in a very like dangerous position. Right? Like I'm a freshly single white man in his early 30s. That's very vulnerable mentally, especially these days, right? Like I feel very vulnerable position. Oh yeah, like I feel like I'm one bad YouTube away from calling women females and driving my car through a parade, right? Like I feel like when people break up, they often like change in like direct opposition to the other person. Like often, like in vast ways, they'll change everything about them. Now my ex is a queer neurodivergent therapist who works with those populations. So y'all, if I watch too much Fox News, I will have the most insane conservative arc you could imagine. Right? I'd just be like a metrosexual Alex Jones, like, everybody, the vaccines are making the trans autistic, everybody. Why is no one talking about it? No, especially because, like, I don't know, my name's Hunter White. I got the name of a Republican and the complexion of a Mexican. No one will see me coming. Also, I just got to say, this is not funny. The one thing that autistic kids do not need is physical abuse. My name's Hunter White. Have a great night.
Nobody's planning on physically abusing autistic children. That is such a democratic viewpoint. Oh, no, you said they needed an ass whooping. No, children need an ass whooping when they're bad. We can decide whether they're autistic later. Let God sort them out. You know, and everybody here is all worried about chaos. Tonight, you have to go to Glendale. Because today, they initialed a peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And part of the deal was ICE can't go to Glendale to arrest the criminals that are here illegally. The Armenians got to pass. And they can't go to the Bronx and get the Serbians either. Because I got news for you. Mexicans aren't the only criminals. All right? We got plenty of immigrants that are other criminals. Where you going, Hunter? You ain't leaving. No. You first thing you forgot to do is you forgot to say where to find you on social media. What is this? See, just in Hunter's defense, by the way, my name is Hunter Watt.
No,
where?
On Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram. Wait, what's this Instagram thing? Anyhow, the other thing is that, and I lost my train of thought, but it comes down to this. What was it that it come down to? Now, that's autism. I can't think, you know? But anyhow, you've all been a pleasure tonight. Very glad to see everybody. Don't forget Aaron's classes. Hunter is in those classes.
That's great.
All right? Hunter loves them. Billy loves them. Everybody, you having one? Everybody loves them. Everybody out there, you should be standing online on Tuesday night. All right? Aaron forgets to charge anyhow. All right? We also have coming up Dustin Chafin in the Writers Club. Yeah. There we go. So at the end of the day, this has been the LA School of Comedy. Good night.
Yeah.
Oh.